This show is completely and utter garbage. I also want to read an article, a short article by Variety, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the show itself because, as you saw on my channel, for those who actually watched it, I recently watched Troy from 2004 and praised it because it was so well made and how they made it mostly out of practical effects in that movie and the stunt work and all that. And then you have this travesty of a show. I watched it because I was curious. I have to say some of the actors actually play really well in that show, but the writing is utter garbage. The screenplay and the production is also garbage. It's very uh, low budget series where you can see where they don't have these big battles with a lot of people. They don't even have CGI in the production, at least not a lot of it. And what really irritated me is they cast Achilles, who is described as blonde by Homer. He is black. Zeus is black. Artemis, a god, is an albino, and you also have Nestor, one of the commanders among the Greeks, also black. There is so much forced diversity in this that it spews on you the entire time. Aeneas, who is supposedly, according to Homer, the founder and everyone in Rome, what is a descendant of Aeneas, is black. So Italy is basically we was Romans and stuff. And you have Achilles being basically bisexual, even though Homer didn't describe him as. I did some research trying to find what that Homer actually said this in his piece, because there was some Athenian place that depicted him as bisexual, but Homer never said he was homosexual or bisexual. He even wrote that Patroclus and Achilles slept with women, so they were straight as far as Homer was concerned, and so you also have this not just garbage with sexuality, but also with race. So this entire show is littered with SGW garbage, and they half-ass between realism and the mythical stuff, so they don't go all the way in for the mythical stuff. So in the start of the show they kind of set the tone that oh, this is going to be a little bit more of the mythical, more true to what Homer wrote, but then they go half-assed, like making Achilles just a regular human. They don't depict Apollo being a part of the reason why Achilles died, and they didn't make it clear that he desecrated and dishonored Apollo. So they half-ass the mythical parts of the show, and also half-ass the realistic part of the show. So it's an overall mess when it comes to the narrative, the writing, the actors. I don't really have any large complaints to the actors really. I didn't like the guy who played Achilles, but that's about it. I don't know if it's the direction or the writing. I haven't seen him in anything else. But I wanted to also touch this article to give you some context, so you can read it. It's in the description below. Black Panther may be storming at the global box office, but casting actors of color in the Netflix and BBC epic Troy Fall of a City have stirred up controversy in some quarters. A debate over whether having black actors play Greek gods and heroes is true to Homer's Iliad, which recounts the decade-long siege of Troy, has played out in parts of the press and social media. David Gyasi, Interstellar, plays Achilles in the series, which is unusually takes the perspective of the Trojans. Hakim K. Kazim, Sails, stars as the god Zeus, and Lemagong Sipa as Patroclus. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. Patroclus is also black. They appear alongside the likes of Lewis Hunter and Bella Dane, who play Paris and Helen, and actor David Threlfall in a deep ensemble cast. But the choice of a non-white actor for key roles has outraged some. Why does BBC new drama Troy Fall of a City, set in 1200 BC, feel the need to hector us about race and gender? A headline in the right-wing Sun tabloid harem. Okay, so Sun is a right-wing. Okay, all right. Controversy looms as mythical Achilles is played by a black actor in new BBC epic. Read another on an English language site about Greek Hollywood. The debate was also picked up on Twitter, with many debating the casting of Gyasi as Achilles and noting Homer described the character as blonde. Yeah, see, there you go. But David Farr, who wrote Troy and the BBC and AMC series The Night Manager, told Variety that the team went into the casting process with a completely open mind because of the nature of the project. That makes no sense. You should pick the or the best person, not the first person, but the best person for the role. As you enter the world of myth, you have immediately a wonderful freedom. No, it's pretty much spelled out what the Iliad is. There's not a freedom. Oh, it's pretty set in its ways. There's a limited amount of freedom you have when you depict the Iliad and the Greeks versus the Trojans. I understand that for certain people, probably mainly in Greece, there is a national idea of Achilles. Personally, I think that they just have to accept that we are looking at this myth and we had the freedom to cast it as we have. So, wow. So, you're gonna take the entire thing as it was real, but then when it suits you, just, this is a myth, so we're just going to do whatever we want. Classical historian Bethany Hughes was an advisor on this series, and Farr noted that genuine historical accuracy was not a viable option. No one knows if Homer's version around 1200 BC, which was written 500 years later, is truthful, anything specific, anything particular, or whether it wasn't an entirely mythic thing. Yeah, but still, you keep true to what he wrote. If you're gonna actually use his work, you can't just pick and choose then. You can't cast Hittites as I think that's how we say Hittites as Trojans. I'd love to do, but sadly there are none available. Said Farr, adding, "We are not claiming that Achilles was actually Ethiopian any more than if a black actor played King Arthur. It is simply casting decision. Whoever came inhabited the spirit of the characters best we decided to cast, and it was either you directed this guy wrong or he was a terrible actor, because I watched it." The 8-part series is the first Derek Waxwild Mercery, which produced Troy in association with Edmond Shan's UK-based drama specialist Kudos. Wax, a former executive producer at Kudos, set up an own shingle last year, having had the idea Troy 7 years ago. The BBC came on board, blah blah blah. The Troy team was initially keen to have a black Andromache. Oh my god. We thought that could be really interesting, but Chloe Perry came along and was fantastic that we decided to cast a white actor. Jesus. Diversity is at the heart of our casting and at the heart of what BBC and Netflix want. It's only a controversy if people try to manufacture a controversy out of it. Yeah. So you crap on the Iliad, one of the most famous pieces in history among humans. You have Lord of the Rings, you have Homer, the Iliad, the Odyssey, you have the Greek stories, you have the Bible, you have the Old and New Testament. You have these very universal stories that are, especially in the West or also in the world, that people know, and you're gonna just pick and choose, and then say, oh, manufacture controversy out of it. No, you wanted the controversy because you use forced diversity. Why can't it be the diversity with talent? Why does it have to be race that is the diversity? Because you hate that it's made by white people, and it should be white people that is predominantly in this series, and you want to diversify it because it's not politically correct, so to speak, because everything that has only white people in it is automatically racist. And here on Netflix we lost a blah 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 blah. And we do have ideas for a second season without giving any spoilers. Homers did write the Odyssey, yeah, but that one is gonna be garbage as well, because what they did to the Iliad is a disgrace. The actors probably are gonna do fine because they did a good job, but what this David Farr did to this show is complete and utter garbage. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.